Welcome back to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, joined by Chris, the technician Aceto, John Romano, and Lee Priest on this February 1st, 2021 evening. And we are live here on RX Muscle, the longest lasting, notice I say, bodybuilding podcast. We were the first, and we will probably be the last at some point when the world is ready for destruction. What's that, Lee, you got there?
That's my mask.
Oh.
You gotta be COVID safe.
Oh, you got the one that Ricky sent you?
Oh, well, just got demonetized. Good one, Lee. Thank you.
Yeah. My friend wanted to send me this T-shirt and this mask, and I said I can't wear this stuff. I'm sorry. There was there worse ones too. So I said send them to Lee and Jimmy. Of course,
we can only be so woke.
That's right.
I wore it to the gym.
Really?
I don't know if I'd wear the assassination one to the airport though, but I wore it to the gym.
This one is like assassin. It's ready for. They have a picture of a Kamala Harris and Biden.
I got him over there.
It's time for an assassination or something like that. Is what it says on the back or something like that.
Yeah.
We have a hello from Iraq from our friend Amir.
Cool.
Hello.
You know, Dave, they went to assassinate Mike Pence, not Vice President Mike Pence, not Vice President Kamala Harris.
No, this kid made these T-shirts up, and there was.
I know, but that was the command. Where is Mike Pence? We came to kill him.
Oh! Trump wanted to have him assassinated. Yeah, probably. So, Chris, someone writes, your spontaneous humor is great. It beats any stand-up comedian. So
it's not funny, and it's not spontaneous. This guy's probably just bored.
Yeah, we were talking before the show started about sneakers, the sneaker craze. John, you want to give us a little history of sneakers and running and jogging, as you put it, in this country in the 70s?
We were talking about when the jogging craze hit in the 70s, and we were. I guess Runner's World magazine was hot, and we were into jogging, and the new shoes were really cool. And we were talking about the Nike waffle trainers, which were the coolest shoe ever at the time. It was like if there was a shoe Ferrari, that was it. You know. Do
you know how that was made? You want to know?
In a waffle line.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What's his name? There was a runner by the name of Steve Prefontaine, was probably one of the most popular runners of that era.
He died. He died, didn't he?
He died in a car accident very young. Yeah, he was a great runner. And his coach at the University of Oregon there, who was one of the founders of Nike, he used to take his wife's waffle iron, and he would make each runner on the team at that college, their own pair of what became known as the waffle racer. They were waffle bottoms, and he would make them on the waffle iron and he would sew the shoes, and you'd get your own pair of shoes when you came to the team. Wow. But he was the toughest coach of all time. They had the best team also, and Nike, and he actually, I think he first branded it Nike too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah,
I know. I forget the name of the movie, but that's one that used to be one of my favorite movies.
You like that too? Yeah.
The movie. Yeah, it's about his whole life and that. Yeah, and how he died. And it's a pretty good movie. Yes,
it was awesome. Prefontaine was phenomenal, a phenomenal runner. He just loved pain. He supposedly he could endure more pain than anyone else. Yeah.
It's funny you say pain, because I go walking. I just mentioned it before we come on, that when I go walking around the beach in the morning, I go for a slow walk, a brisk walk, but a good pace. And every person I see come past me that's jogging or running, it looks like they got broken glass in their shoes. I just look at their face, and they're like, it's like, what the hell are you running for? If it's that painful, just walk. It's like the look on their face. To look at this anguish, because some people say that, when you run, it's euphoric, or you get the feeling like you're having sex. I'm like, what are they having sex with, a meat grinder? It's like the look on their face is terrible. It's like, it's just walk, people.
I think back then it was cool.
That was pretty.
That you could even just do it. I mean, that there was, like, the cross country coach would say, go run 3 miles and then come back for track. And the fact that you could actually, run 3 miles, that was no one did that before, back then. So it was kind of like, now it's like no big deal. But
hey, John, did you have those shorts, John, when you went jogging?
I did. We all
I
had
had them too.
It's all there
We all
was.
had 'em.
What else? What was the other option?
They came with the sewn-in underwear, didn't they? So your nuts didn't fall out.
That's right. Yeah, there's like a little. There's supposed to be right.
It made me bleed.
But it's not like any bodybuilders would have that problem anyway. It's not like our nuts are going to fall out, so it would have been okay.
That look was so in that I used to, like I said, I was, I ran cross country and track in college, and I would actually starve myself to get that like emaciated look so that you could, because otherwise what was happening is, because I had like naturally kind of big legs and they would like rub together, and that wasn't cool. Like if you're a runner, you wanted to have those ultra micro skinny legs,
Bleckman legs.
Blackman legs. Yeah. Was he a runner, John?
He was, but he would run it.
Did he run when he had his long hair?
I just remember the baggy spandex, because how can
the legs were so thin?
How can spandex be baggy?
He was a runner. He used to chase me around. That's for sure. He was a runner. You never saw him at the DoubleTree Hotel chasing me down the hallway for a cookie.
That's why he jogged. He was getting in shape right after Lee. Yeah.
He said he just wanted those fresh hot cookies when you sign in at the front desk, but I think he wanted more than the cookies.
One year I gave mine to Dexter Jackson, as he was second in, and he ended up winning the show. That's a year.
Really? You probably ate him, too.
I always ate them. I couldn't help myself. I always ate them. I was like, I knew when I checked in, they were going to hand them to me, and I thought, you know what, Lee, put them away till after the show. Now, as soon as I got to the room, I ate them.
Yeah. We got a shout out from Hanoi, Vietnam. How's that?
Wow. That must be a cool place now.
Yeah.
Hanoi.
Food's good there.
So I'm trying to debate, which I know John's ass is going to say none, but he's going to have to do it eventually. What vaccine have you guys been up on? Is supposed to be the good one now? There's 3 of them out, right?
Moderna.
All of them suck.
There's a new one coming. I think Johnson & Johnson has a one shot, the vaccine.
Oh, they're going to come out now with a 1 shot, then a half a shot, and then instead of it being minus 3,000 degrees Celsius, they have to store it at 450 degrees.
The Johnson & Johnson doesn't have to be kept that cold either. That's another good advantage of it.
And it smells. Yeah, I think it smells like baby powder too, by what I heard. So.
Well, the new one that came, this Johnson & Johnson, well, actually not the Johnson, one of the ones that have to be kept really cold. I guess there was a pharmacy somewhere that the refrigerators were breaking down, so they had to administer like 5,000 of these vaccines in 2 hours. Like there were people like lining the streets like, otherwise they're going to go bad,
That's going to go bad. That's good.
Yeah.
So when I had a doctor on from America today on the TV, he's having his second shot tomorrow, but he even said, because it's all so new, once he has his second shot, they still don't know whether they've got to have another one in 6 months, where the flu shot is yearly. He's thinking maybe this one you might have to have every 6 months and stuff like that. So they still don't even know anything about it. They're giving that one here, not as Pfizer's the one they're going to start giving here in Australia first, and they're starting to giving that out now. But even that one here, the Pfizer one, they said, well, it will be good. All it really does, one doctor said, was just stop the severity, so you might not have to go to hospital. It doesn't stop you not getting it, or it doesn't stop you transmitting it to somebody else. It just maybe stops you going to hospital, which if you're pretty healthy, you don't go to hospital anyway. So it's like,
right.
Well, maybe if you double up the shot, it'll work better. Like the mask. Now
I heard
it. Wear 2 masks now, so maybe if you get 2 shots, you can get 2 shots, 2 masks, double everything up. Everybody.
The bodybuilding theory: if you need 1 shot, take 4.
Well, one of the viewers just put a good thing. If you stack the Moderna with Trenbolone, I heard it works 10 times more effectively.
That's what Bobby Muscle says.
Oh my God! What's with this Shaq Bowl that's going on? What is Shaq doing during the Super Bowl? Did you see this thing?
Idea.
He's got the Shaq Bowl. He's like having all these celebrities for the
He's
Shaq
doing his
Bowl.
own YouTube weekend, right, or something like that.
He's got his own little like stadium built or something like that for the
Is it
Shaq
like
Bowl.
on Zoom? Is it going to be on a Zoom call?
I don't know. It's the Shaq Bowl. It's called.
On Zoom.
Is it on Zoom? Yeah.
Might as well be. Everything else is on Zoom. They're having
It's
Zoom
supposed to be like
parties.
it's supposed to be it's going to be like a pregame show, his own pregame show he's doing.
I'm sure it'll be on Zoom.
Well, they've probably got to do that because did you see the list of people who are pulling out of ads because they don't want to offend people and upset people? So all these big names who have done Super Bowl ads for 20, 30 years are pulling out so they don't offend
really?
people.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to call it Medium Bowl now instead of Super Bowl because of bowl shaming.
It's pretty amazing that Tom Brady at that age is able to perform at such a high level. Isn't it a great, really like FU to like his former team?
Oh, big time. Think
about that. They like drop him because he's getting a little old, and he's like now he could be like, you dumbasses.
Yeah, no, it's insane that they dropped them, right?
He's the franchise. I mean, the guy is like the most marketable guy in all of the NFL.
Well,
Why would you drop this guy?
I guess Robert Kraft thought that the coach was the franchise.
Maybe.
Robert Kraft was out getting a hand job when 20 minutes before he made the decision, I guess.
You're right.
Was it Tom Brady or it wasn't Tom Brady on it's been a long time since I've seen the movie Ted 2. Was it Tom Brady in that when they were sneaking into the room, or was that somebody else?
Which one?
Remember that movie? Remember the movie Ted with Mark Wahlberg, and they wanted to go in and get his semen?
Oh,
Because
that's right. You're right. I think you're right. Yeah.
Was that Tom? Was that Tom
I think
Brady?
it was Tom Brady. Yeah, there was Tom Brady. Yeah. That's how long.
Yeah,
he's
they
been
tried.
around.
Yeah, I think it was in Ted 2 when he tried to get his semen because he wanted Ted to have a baby, and they were trying to get semen, so they figured they'd break into his house and jack him off while he's sleeping. And when they lifted up the bed cover, this light like Jesus come out. He's like, "Oh my God!"
That's funny.
What's his name was in that too? The guy from Flash Gordon.
Lee knows all these movies. Yeah, I never watched Ted, and I didn't like those movies for some reason. I didn't like the humor of it. I don't know why. I didn't like Ted. I don't know what it was.
Dave, you used to know all the movies before you had 3 kids.
I know, but I never. I don't think I ever gave Ted a chance. It just looked too. It was like something like my father would say, like, "Too stupid," don't watch it.
Like a Super Trooper movie.
Okay, let's talk about a movie you know then, Dave. Frozen. What? Okay, when Elsa goes up to the big mountain.
Right. Oh, I know Frozen. Yeah.
I'm sure
the new one that they're watching, my kids that they're really into is Ferdinand. Have you seen Ferdinand?
Oh, the bull,
Chris.
The bull.
No,
not yet.
Ferdinand is about bullfighting. It's like how the bulls they can't wait to go to the bull ring. They don't realize that the bull always loses. And so Ferdinand's a bull, and he's not into violence.
John Cena's the voice.
Oh, is that John Cena's voice? I didn't realize that. Oh, that's cool.
Trivia, Priest, right?
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome.
The bull was actually it was CGI'd after Lee Priest's body. Yeah, they had to bring Lee into the studio. Oh, that was the Hulk. Sorry,
just not the bull part of it. That's all.
No. Yeah, my neck. It was my neck and the Ferdinand's neck. Anyway, my kids are into that. They're very upset at the beginning.
Thank you. Ferdinand's and I got a package. What could it be?
Ooh, what's in it?
Should we open it live?
Yeah, open it live. Who's it from?
Hopefully, it won't turn out.
Hold on. Let me see.
Hopefully, it won't turn out like Ronaldo Rivera opened up.
Al Capone's, yes.
Al Capone's.
Is it?
You remember when people used to send what were they sending in the mail? What was that disease? Anthrax. Yeah. Now, hopefully, it's not anthrax from anyone.
Oh, it's my wig.
Oh, you got the wig today? We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
That's my wig for when I get dressed up as a woman in a couple of whenever we're doing
Yes.
it. Look,
It's
it's gonna be beautiful when I put it on.
That's an expensive looking wig, Lee. You got.
Oh, this is like
Chris,
the
they want to
hairnet
know.
one. My wife said this is the good one. It's got like the hairnet at the front, so it blends in and looks real. Chris, you're gonna love me when you see me done as a woman. I tell you.
don't. Yeah, Chris might want to leave his wife for you. Don't show him.
That's okay.
Is this for the
How many kids do you have, Chris, that I have to help you raise?
Too many. It feels like 14.
Chris, what was
okay.
John Cena's potential as a bodybuilder? Do you think that's what they want to know?
He probably could have won like a national level show, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
He was big. He was round.
Was he at Was he at the front desk of Venice when you were there?
No, I don't know because
Or was that after?
John would know because John knows that stuff. John was on the bench out front all the time. John, was he there when you were there?
No, he came later.
He came later.
Yeah, I left.
I went to Springfield College, Dave, where I went to.
I left Venice in like '95.
So he was there after.
Yeah, it must have been after.
Yeah.
Carry on, guys. I'm just playing with my hair.
While you put your hair on, Xavier Wills is joining in Desktop Bodybuilding. He's not joining. He's just commented. He wants to know what your thoughts are on Western Australia, where he lives, going into complete lockdown and closing everything, including gyms, due to our one case in 10 months.
Crazy. I saw it on the news this morning. They had one case, that new strain from England, and the Premier just shuts everything down in one day. You should have seen the people panic buying at the supermarkets. In the supermarket, everyone's like this. I figured if there was COVID, everyone just got it. They're shoulder to shoulder, getting the toilet paper and garbage.
Oh, my God.
One person.
One person. They locked the whole country down, John.
Yeah, that's insane. I think, we think we have it bad here, but I can imagine what that must be.
That sucks.
Because you wouldn't get people in South Carolina to shut down anything.
Yeah. South Dakota. They're celebrating. They're open.
I could not. If you were here in my town, you would never know there's a COVID.
Well, unless you went to the hospital.
Xavier said they gave 4.4 to 5 hours notice on the lockdown.
Yeah, it wasn't much. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
We got a hello from
crazy.
India. We got the whole world watching us tonight, guys.
Cool.
Really?
India?
Yeah.
Who's watching the 7-Eleven if he's on here?
now, Lee. No. No discrimination on this show.
There goes the monetization button.
Put your wig on right now.
I can't put it on. I don't know how. No. It's like two. You got it. It's like two.
He looks better than the hair. I don't even say it. Isn't that Blackman's hair? The main.
I got to do it properly. Look,
you got to get the frosted mustache though too.
It's like long Blackman hair. Really?
You're not seeing me at my best. This is just
Blackman probably flat ironed his though, right? Like Chris. John, someone said you look like a young Frankie Valli right now. They want to know if you can sing a song for us.
I look like a young Frankie Valli.
A young,
it's not.
Yankee Frankie Valli, what, 167?
Lee, someone said in the comments, they said you look like Willie Nelson. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Another guy said Shanique Grant wants her wig back. I don't know. That wasn't nice though.
It's got that.
You're gonna get sued. You're gonna get sued again.
Yeah.
So is this for the Blackman dating game episode?
Well, that's not fair. I didn't get time. Look, I haven't got time to brush it. I haven't got my makeup on. That's just like see me when I first wake up. That's just not. It's not right.
You look better than most of these women do when they first wake up. That's for sure.
Wait till you see me when I'm really done up. You're gonna salivate. That's for sure.
Chris, did you have any relationship or know anything? Were you friends with Trevor Smith at all? A lot of people have been asking about him.
No, Jay was friends with him though.
Jay was, I knew that.
They're pretty tight.
I knew.
Were you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Lee was too.
What was your relationship with him?
I used to hang out with him a lot because he didn't live far from me, so he'd always come over to my house and eat. He's the one that got me to first start taking 800 milligrams of test a week, because he always said, Lee, if you took more, you'll get bigger. If you take more, you'll get bigger. So I went up to 800. To 800 for a couple of weeks, and I felt like shit. So I went back down again.
100.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I think I saw his ex-wife Nancy when I was over there 2 years ago at the Olympia.
Right.
Remember Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy Norman. Yeah.
I think she's living back east again or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she married Ron Norman. Yeah, our accountant friend. What when you saw? I guess if you had to compare Trevor with like Kovacs and those guys, you know, Jeep Swenson, because he was over 400 pounds. Trevor.
Oh. He was big.
Where would you rank him on the size scale?
He'd be up there with Jeep because it was just thick. Like, you know, I never really saw Trevor dieted down, but thickness-wise, it's hard to tell when you're that thick because you're carrying a bit of body fat and fluid and stuff like that. But when you talk about thickness and strength, he was super strong and thick. So it's hard to say, you know, what was really underneath it if he dieted down. But yeah, as far as strength come, he was super strong, doing crazy lifts and shit and stuff like that. But yeah, he was big.
Was he just like afraid to compete? Like, was he like a Victor Richards, just like being big, or you know, what was his? How come he never did get on stage?
I think he just liked eating and being big and lifting heavy weights. So I don't think the bodybuilding side ever appealed to him. I think it was more about just having that number of, like you said, weighing a certain weight and looking a certain way and just being, like I said, he was probably as wide as he was thick.
I think it was more into making money than spending it on competing.
Yeah, he had a good company. That Nuclear Nutrition, they were doing well with that.
Yeah.
What does any of you guys know? Did any of you guys personally know Ted Arcidi? The bench.
Ted Arcidi.
No. Sometimes.
New Englander. He's from where's he from? Rhode Island, Dave?
I think he's from your neck of the woods. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, he's up there.
Actually, that's who someone wanted to know if you knew him. Speaking of bench pressers, I'm going to have I think either next week or the week after, because he's just getting over COVID, Scott Mendelson on the TV show. And Scott Mendelson is looking to be the first man over 50 years of age to bench press 1,100 pounds.
To bench
press 1,100 pounds. Yeah, that's what the record.
What's the bench press record? What's the world bench press record?
It might be that. That might be. I don't even know if anyone did 1,100. But he's back to you know.
I thought 11. I thought there was 11. It wasn't 1170.
What was Ryan? Does Ryan Kennelly still have it? You know, remember he had like I think he did.
Wasn't his 1,070 or 11?
Something like that. Yeah.
I remember there was 70 in it. 1170 or 1,000.
Hey, what's Ted Arcidi doing? He had a weed.
I don't know. I know. I'd like to get him on the show. I
think he was the only guy, one of the very few powerlifters who Joe had on the contract.
How come Joe never was
a
one-man powerlifter guys? I mean, that was sort of more like of the era than bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And he had the strongman mustache too.
Yeah. Well, he had the trophy as a strongman, right?
Yeah. Eugene Sandow was the song.
Only Joe could come up with a Eugene Sandow trophy and make it into something that's like seems important.
That people would know that name, Eugene Sandow. I mean, who was he? You know?
Yeah. It was good. It was good that they found someone like that, because I mean, what were we going to call it? Like the Arnold or something like that? You know, you need it. You almost needed like an old time.
It's a gimmick. Yeah.
So it should have been the Milo of Croton, because he was actually the first bodybuilder.
Was it really?
Milo? Well, he invented. Weeder stole the progressive resistance principle from.
I didn't know that, John.
Well, Milo of Croton became the biggest, strongest wrestler in the day because this cow was born, a calf, and he threw it over his shoulder, and he would walk up and down the hills behind his farm. And he did it every day with the same cow. So as the cow grew up and got bigger, so did he.
All right, so I'm looking at Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, Ryan Kennelly in 08 had the record at 1075, like John said. Tiny Meeker broke it at 1077 in 13. Then he broke his own record in 13 at 1102. And then William Barotti pressed 501 kilos, which is 1,105 pounds on June 20th of this past year, 2020. So he has the record.
What's the squat record?
Now the raw bench press record, John, which was set by Julius Maddox at 770 pounds.
Yeah, let's get to the real.
That's more impressive, that record, right?
Right, Lee? I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But if Mendelssohn puts up 1,100 at 50 years of age, that might be one of the greatest lifts of all time. I know how my joints feel at 50. You know.
Oh, I just picture a pec tearing as soon as he lifts it off. I was like,
He had a major pec tear too recently, and not recently, less than years.
And the bench press records are almost like within 100 pounds of each other.
I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you.
I mean,
I really don't.
Legs are huge with chest, arms, much smaller body system, and yet
and they all have a weird way too, don't they?
What's that?
They have a weird way, the way they bench to the way they because you got to keep your shoulder blades in on the bench, but you can keep your ass down, but you can arch it as long as your ass and shoulders or whatever is on the bench. But then the way they just sort of do this, but they reckon some of those bench suits, my friend had one of them on once, and without weight on the bar, it won't even come down because it's so bouncy. You got to put so much weight on it just to push the suit down because it springs back.
Ask Palecci what it feels like to have 1,000 pounds over your head.
Well, but Palecci used to do 700 raw. He wouldn't put his suit on until he got him into the 8.
Well, yeah, he blew it. He could have had the raw bench press record back then. Not now.
Back then he could have.
Ask Palecci what it's like to have a chihuahua on his arm. Caesar.
No. Yeah. But, the truth is, I mean, think about it. When you have anyone who's crazy enough to get under a bar, it's like a guillotine over your head with that much weight. I mean, you're basically trusting the shirt. You're trusting your spotters because you could die. I mean, squat, you're not dying. You're just going to basically,
what? To that point, when Palecci did it at Gold's Gym with just the regular bench that we used every day and a regular Olympic bar. And
and Lou Ferrigno spotting him.
No, Ferrigno was there, but he had who was his name?
The Dudley brothers, right? No,
what? But no,
Dudley brothers.
Eric Mosley was spotting, and the Barbarian brothers, I think, were two biker dudes or something. Were on either side, but he had a lot of help. But the point being is that Olympic bar was like bent like this. When Palecci first unracked the weight, all he did was take the bend out of the bar. So today they're using bars are thicker, heavier bars. The benches are, it's more substantial. When Palecci got under 1,000 pounds, that was a rickety old bench with the regular two uprights, and it was the regular bench in the gym. It wasn't anything, special piece of equipment. So that took balls because, like you're saying, that's a hanging up over your
Listen to this. Some guy in the comment section, I don't know if he's lying or not. He says Tiny Meeker is his cousin. He said it was insane at that meet where he broke the record. He said he couldn't see for 2 days afterwards. Now, why would you lose your vision after bench pressing 1,100 pounds?
From all that
maybe the pressure.
Maybe blowing blood vessels in your eyes or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
I lost my vision after a big sex session with Viagra. Just from the pressure, I lost my vision.
I thought it was when you tied yourself.
I had headaches.
I thought it was when you tied your penis to a coffee table.
That was a different time. That was a different time. That was another day, Dave.
Chris, from your neck of the woods, Eddie Cohn did some insane lifting back in the day. I mean, he was probably one of the purest three-lift guys.
From where? Illinois.
No, Eddie Cohn was from. I thought he was from Mass. No,
I thought he's from Chicago.
Oh, maybe Chicago. Yeah.
He's probably the freakiest pound for pound, right?
I think so. 3 lifts too. He did all 3 lifts.
And he didn't use like super suits and space suits and 80 pounds of leg wraps.
He had the world record for a long time in the total.
He had a great physique too.
He wasn't that. Yeah, he got ripped too if he wanted to.
Yeah, he had a good V taper.
I remember.
Very muscular, lean.
Didn't his daughter get into powerlifting too? I remember seeing his daughter at Gold's powerlifting for a while when he did some stuff with Tom Platz a little bit. I'm pretty sure his daughter was into it.
And I didn't know that. Yeah, I have to ask him. One of the best bench presses I've ever seen also was from Long Island, Chris Confessori, who died in like a stupid car accident, in North Carolina or something like that. But
Confessori died?
In like a weird car accident, like just out of nowhere, like,
What's a stupid car accident compared to a good one? What's the difference if you die in it?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it's just terrible. It's terrible. He was a good guy too, like a really good guy. He used to train at Gold's in Deer Park. He was with that whole crew back then for a while, and then he moved down to North Carolina, and that's when he had the car accident and passed. But speaking of people that passed, did you see there was the kid from Chris Pillay from South Africa? Did you know him, Chris?
No, I didn't know him.
What a horrible. I feel so bad for the guy.
Did you know him, Dave?
COVID he died of, John. The thing that you say isn't killing anyone,
The flu, John. He died of,
or underlying problems killed him.
Well, did you see that old guy that got knighted in England? The old guy that's 100, he's got COVID now. That old guy who got knighted, who did that walking for COVID, and they're saying he has COVID now, but for the last 6 weeks he's been suffering from pneumonia, but now he has COVID.
Crazy. We're living in crazy times. We really are. I mean,
but did you see when you posted that? I got into arguments with people because people like bodybuilding such an unhealthy sport. It's this, it's that. I said it is not. So I went through all the lists. I went and looked up deaths in sports, people that have died from things, and more people have died in soccer than other sports. The top 15, bodybuilding's not even in it. So it's like, yeah, we hear of more, but when you really think about it, the amount of people that train, amateurs, professionals all over the world, there ain't that many deaths. Base jumping has more deaths per year than bodybuilding, so it's like.
I would imagine jumping off of a building, it would probably, result in more deaths.
Well, what is the healthy sport? Name one that is healthy.
Nothing. Any extreme sport's not healthy.
You know what? You're right, John. And I said this to Lee. I said, you know what? Elite athletics is not a healthy endeavor. How about runners? These guys run 18 miles a day. They don't ever take days off. You think that's healthy for your heart? They're in great shape, but it can't be healthy for your body. There's no way.
Look at football and brain injuries, and I mean, baseball is everybody's shoulders and hips are all fucked up. I mean, there's no healthy sport.
Well, baseball was one I brought up too, because I went and Googled all deaths in baseball, because everyone's like, oh, well, in bodybuilding, Lee, they die young. And I think the top 30 that have died over the last year and a half in baseball, 24, 28. There's some that died from taking ephedra. Some have died because they got hit by the ball. Some might have died because they played baseball, but they're in a car accident. That killed them, but they still, whatever. But, yeah, but they're all in their 20s, early 30s. So these people that say bodybuilding and the drugs kill, I figure, okay, they're trying to say the steroids kill people. Just look at people in general that take steroids all around the world. If steroids were killing people, well,
Yeah.
Everyone would be dropping dead. It's like the whole roid rage argument. People go, roid rage. People get roid rage. I said, if roid rage was a real thing, I said, the majority of gyms would be like a UFC fight every freaking night if roid rage was an actual, get off that bench.
Yeah. Gym can be a fairly dangerous place for out of control people.
I think it's just that, that any sport, because of the extreme nature of what you have to do to be the best, and I'm not talking about the drugs, I'm talking about the way you train. It's very hard on the body. I mean, it is what it is, and you have to accept that as as a professional athlete or someone who aspires to be a professional. Look what the gymnasts do. Gymnasts train 6 to 8 hours a day every day. I mean, and they're young girls. I mean, the repetitive use on the joints destroys them. A lot of them. I mean, Mary Lou Retton needed hip replacements, and a lot of these girls' shoulders are shot, later in life.
Well, like, Dave, I guess a litmus test is, would you like your son to become a baseball player or a pro bodybuilder?
Yeah, well, baseball, just because at least let him make some money from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if the money was equal,
Yeah.
if the money was equal, which way would you steer him?
I guess baseball, just because it's just healthier for the body. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about it because
more,
you don't have to take all the drug use is a lot lower in baseball, I would imagine.
I don't know about that.
But the thing is though,
you know what the irony is? Who's the most vilified guy
in sports?
Who's the most vilified guy in sports? History of sports, would you say? Well, at least top 5.
Barry Bonds.
Okay, who else?
Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, the poor schnook who got caught up. Yeah, but Lance Armstrong's got to be the most vilified guy, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, with the way they test the Tour de France guys, where they get tested every day, his use of performance-enhancing drugs had to be minuscule, right? Because he had to beat the test. So they were only taking very small amounts. I mean, if you talk to Victor Conte, it was like they put a testosterone patch on themselves, after they would ride and get tested and wear it at night. That's what they were doing with a little, probably little titers of EPO and stuff like that, or they would blood dope. They really weren't taking dangerous amounts of drugs. Now, cyclists in general, because of the excessive nature of what they're doing, that might be a little more dangerous, especially riding your bike at 30 miles an hour down a hill. I mean, is way more dangerous than the amounts of performance enhancing drugs they were taking, And so I find it ironic that people think that these cyclists are such drug addicts. They're really not. I mean, they're just trying to find a little bit of an edge because no one gets tested more than they do.
Yeah, but back in the day when they
were cheating. Lance, they were cheating. For God's sakes, Lance Armstrong was not taking a vitamin. The guy was jacked.
But think about it.
Funny story.
The guy was jacked, and at the end, he went to the nth degree to cover up his jackedness.
He was just a dick. He was just a dick about it. Yeah, he was a dick.
And not only that, but it's one thing to take performance enhancing drugs, and you anyone asks you want to deny it, but he'd go to the mountaintop and declare that he was like holier than Jesus.
Yeah.
And, would never even think of taking, simple carbohydrate, let alone, test an EPO.
You're right.
So people hated him because of the hypocrisy more than,
right.
Because other people admitted, I did too. And they're like, well, yeah, but you didn't go to the, you didn't run to the top.
You didn't try to have people run out of the sport, right? Because
yeah, but see, the thing with cycling, though, cycling wasn't so much juice. Well, that obviously played somewhat of a role, but for cycling, it was more EPO and blood doping that was
same thing.
The bigger thing because you could get away with it easier. You take the test. I mean, they were doing EPO like during the race, in cycling.
But do you think people they pick the champions? They go after the champions, right? Because I mean, we know everyone's doing the same drugs.
Yeah, they go after the winners.
Mm-hmm.
They go after the winners. So
it's
of course
like they go after they go after the tax cheats who are cheating for $3 million, not 30 cents.
Right.
Well, but it used to be that way. It used to be they would sacrifice the B team, throw them under the bus, save the champion.
Right.
But look.
I used to love it when I lived in I was just going to say, when I lived in Austin, Texas, that's where I used to see Lance and his team training. When Austin, Texas had all the cyclists, because that's where Lance Armstrong lived. So when I was getting ready for the 2006 Ironman, I used to just go walking around Austin, down 6th Street and all that. And I'd walk past cyclists and they'd go, steroids. And then when Lance Armstrong got busted, I used to drive my car and they thought steroids. But then when Lee was jogging,
when Lee went jogging with his... You would go jogging down the street.
But they used to always say to me, steroids. The fucking cyclists would look at me and go, steroids. So when Lance got caught, I used to be driving down the road in my car and see the cyclist. I put my window down. Fucking steroids! You fucking steroids on the bike. Revenge, mate. That was revenge.
That's funny.
I used to yell it back at him.
Chris, someone wants to know who wins, Dorian Yates 1993 or Big Ramy 2020?
I think I'd probably go. Ramy would win. The judging criteria would have Ramy winning for sure.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Dorian's got the reputation for like outstanding condition. There were a lot of years that he was like in average condition.
Oh, I said 93. I said 93.
I know, but I just wanted to make the point that people always say like, well, Dorian's condition was absolute. No, it wasn't. It wasn't
He had some
impeccable.
off years.
He had multiple off. He was doing one show a year, and he had off years.
Yeah. Well, he was tearing muscles. Yeah.
Well, the very next year after 93, was it 93?
94, he tore the bicep. Yeah.
So
Right.
I would say, when you're judging a show, at that level, what's always impressive is a ton of muscle. Conditioning is too.
Yeah.
But a ton of muscle is always impressive, and I think that Remy has far more muscle than Dorian had. And I don't care. I don't care
20
about
pounds, probably 20
Yeah,
pounds.
I mean, 93, Dorian was competing against an absolutely unbelievable and outstanding Sean Ray and 93 outstanding Flex Wheeler. But they were probably, as outstanding as Flex was in 93, if he was on the Olympia stage this year, they probably, when he had this crazy strided glutes in 93 and crazy Christmas tree, they'd probably say, yeah, fourth, you're not big enough.
You're probably right. Yeah.
And it's not that Phil is small either, or Brandon, but people have upped their game in terms of size. It might not be better physiques. I think Flex Wheeler has at his all-time best. Technically should win the Olympia this year, I think, but they would probably say you're just not big enough.
Yeah, maybe. Chris,
because you've been on that stage. Lee lost.
Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, he asked you a question.
No, I was actually reading. I was reading a question on the board. Sorry, that you're asking about the Dorian and Flex.
No, Dorian versus
Ramy. Dorian and Ramy.
I don't think it's a fair question because we hadn't seen that kind of.
It's hard. Yeah. I'd probably go Dorian, but it'd be hard. I'd have to see him side by side, but I might just give the nod to Dorian. But I don't know, because I'm not sure whether because Dorian's that little bit squattier, he looks more compact because Ramy's taller. So maybe just with Dorian's back at the moment, it just looks like his lats. Maybe it'd be close, but I'd probably go Dorian.
Well, Ramy's got better legs, but Dorian was like granted hard.
Yeah.
That's where I think.
Certain year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 93. I'm saying 93 Dorian, which is best.
Yeah. That was pretty tough.
What about Samir versus Chris Bumstead?
Well, they did say, Samir.
I would take Samir.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samir at his best.
Someone said, did we know Brian Buchanan? And yes, I did. When he used to have a gym in Australia, I knew Brian Buchanan pretty well. Nice guy.
I didn't know he had a gym in Australia.
Tiny waist on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he moved down here for a while and married some Australian girl. And then
I didn't know that.
Yeah. When I used to train, I used to go to his gym and train with him sometimes. He used to put like a 180-pound dumbbell on his waist and he'll do chin-ups and he'll just go, I said, that's as far as you go. I said, is that all you do, Brian? He goes, Lee, I'll let you in on a secret. He goes, if it moves, it's a rep. I went, thank you. That's how we train. That's what he said. He goes, Lee, if it moves, it's a rep. So
Lee,
I can't argue with your back, so I guess okay.
Did you do super, super small range of motion on all the other body parts, or?
If he went really heavy, yeah. He just said if it moves, it's a rep.
Did he squat?
Yeah, he was a real nice guy. Someone said he's actually back in. Never saw him squat. I was only ever at his gym, generally on chest, back, and arm days. And I think someone said he was over in Western Australia. I heard at the moment. Yeah, someone said there. Look, yeah, Desktop Bodybuilding said he's in Perth. Yeah, I heard he was over in Perth now.
Oh well. Desktop Bodybuilding wants to know what our thoughts are on Bumstead versus Regan Grimes in open bodybuilding from the 2020 Olympia. The looks they brought.
Bumstead.
I think Bumstead would have won. Would have beat Regan. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, Bumstead.
Like I like Regan, but I don't know. Regan just looks like I like Regan. Nothing against him, but I don't really think we've seen him at his best. And to me, he just still looks like he's got more years to polish off his physique or get more quality muscle. It's just something like missing. Like he looks like a really top good amateur that just won the nationals, and he's not quite at the top pro level or mid pro level yet. That's not a knock on him, but compared to some of the others, he just.
What'd you say,
I
Chris?
just texted him 800 megs, like you.
Travis Smith cycle, right?
As they say, when in doubt, up the dosage.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. I don't even know because I never really saw him up close. Danny Padilla, 1981 versus Flex Lewis at his best.
Ooh, well, Flex Lewis.
Yeah, Flex Lewis, but
Yeah.
only because he's bigger. But I mean, in terms
So
of
the other did look.
Yeah.
But Danny Padilla, those guys never got the condition that
he did in '81. Danny Padilla in '81 was peeled at the Olympia.
Not
They
like Flex Lewis,
Mm.
peeled like Flex Lewis gets.
Well, you know what? Minus
Yeah, there's
Lewis
a couple.
one, yes, and then two. You take it. It's like saying, like, you know, how about if you race this guy? And I know nothing about racing. Take the same car that was people were racing in 1980 in the same brand or whatever, and racing it in 2020, and it's not the same vehicle. And people are not using the same stuff. Danny Padilla was using, breath mints, and 300 tests a week.
Wow!
You know what I mean?
Imagine if he had the.
And I think,
today.
and I think too, don't you have to really think about it too? Back then, you've only got to be as good as that person
How's that
who
for
you got to
conditioning?
beat.
I
It's
may
the
have
whole
to-
mindset. If that,
Dave, I rescind that.
Yeah.
That front double beats Flex's front double. End of story.
Let's see. Yeah,
Crazy.
put Flex front double up there by comparison.
Well, I think he's right on the front double. I don't know what his back double look. I'm sure Flex probably beats him on the back double. Because of conditioning, issues.
But it's like Chris said. But if you took Padilla now and Padilla knew he had to look bigger or like Flex, just knowing the supplements, the way to train, the food, and the mindset. If he knew that Flex was his competition, I'm sure he could even look better than that if that's what he had to compete against. So
Yeah, you're only competing against it. It's like, it's like buying real estate in Maine and then going to the Gold Coast in Australia and saying, "Oh, this is really real estate." I mean, you can go out there to the Gold Coast and after like 5 years say, get into it and start collecting stuff. But in other words, like Lee said, you're only as good as the people you're standing next to and what you aspire to look like. To me, that front double bicep.
Padilla
listen,
there or Lee Priest.
If that front double bicep showed up at like
What about Lee
nationals-
Priest at 48?
Look at that.
Whoa.
Lee
I don't
Priest.
know how Lee Priest took over my
Lee
screen. I
Priest
don't know how he
at
took the screen.
Yeah. It's an insurrection
48.
day for the show.
Is that the good arm?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I could actually go to single cams now. They changed the new interface.
Yep.
Finally figured it out.
So is that the good arm, Lee?
Dave,
Yeah, that's the good one.
if Danny Padilla showed up at like the Nationals looking like that, we'd be saying, "Oh my gosh, this guy!" Right?
Right.
So that's
Oh,
that's how good he really, that's a litmus test for knowing how good he is
Lee, front double bicep
without the wig.
with the wig.
Huh?
Hold on.
With the wig.
I'll get back here. This is now I've got to be like all the other bodybuilders. Now I'm not pumped up, and I've only had 2 meals today, and I'm not carved up at all. So I'm pretty flat. I'm pretty flat.
Yeah.
It is
Blackman's getting woody right now.
Yep.
I think that right side is improving, Lee.
The right side is improving.
Dave,
that's the bad one. No, that's the bad one. That's the
What
bad one.
are you 46 now, Lee? How old are you?
Almost 49.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty
I
impressive.
might just sit like this with my sleeves rolled up. I'm a bodybuilder now. This is the proper bodybuilder podcast. I've been
Dave,
watching some of those
when
other.
did the word flat make its way into the bodybuilding vernacular?
I thought you invented that word, no?
I don't know. Who knows?
I know
Maybe.
You did invent it. I thought you
Flat. That's something I would say, like flat. Just flat.
I thought you did.
I thought Aceto invented that phrase.
I swear you did.
But you know what? I never expected people to use it like on a daily basis. Like, oh, today I'm flat. I'm flat. Which really
we
means
can put comments. We can put the comments in. How does that look? That's pretty cool.
Flat now has come to mean I'm very, very hungry. This diet is killing me, and I need to eat something. I'm really
flat. Flat is every time they take a photo before the contest. Every picture, I'm flat right now. Haven't eaten.
Is that
low
true?
Carbs.
Germans have the best shoulders.
Yeah. Germans.
Which Germans?
Yeah,
the German bodybuilders, like Marcus Rule.
All depends. Probably because back in the days, they had to carry all those bags of Jewish people over their shoulders, so it sort of built them up.
Dave, you're going to be demonetized.
Too soon?
Yes.
Too soon? Was that too soon? Too soon? Okay. So, sorry.
Look at this one. Look at this comment. I found all these new tools on this. I love this. This is great.
The rear glute spread.
Can you do the rear glute spread?
Who would win that? I haven't finished my bleaching yet. When I finish my bleaching,
that's funny.
He ought to give us some kind of credit for keeping him relevant for so long.
I think.
Lee, would you ever move back to the U.S.?
I think he should.
Well, he stays up and
watches.
watches.
I actually enjoy it now when I just come over there to visit.
Yeah.
I just like coming to visit now, but no, I think Steve should come on. I think it would be funny, actually. He's got a sense of humor, doesn't he?
He's up on the show anyway, so we might as well have him on.
Yeah. I heard that he's
exactly.
I heard that he's going to be doing an interview with Ron Harris. Is that true?
Oh,
for Blackman.
That'll be riveting.
Someone told me that he's supposed to be on with Ron Harris and that you guys are going to have material for the rest of your lives. So,
Ron Harris is going to interview Steve Blackman.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He probably heard us because we were saying
when Ron
we should get
people. Go
ahead, Lee.
Ron just sort of stares off into like when he's interviewing people, he's just like, and he just looks, and it's just like, It's just like this deadpan serial killer. That's right. Just like there's no expression.
He's too busy thinking about the next question. That's why,
Yeah, right.
Oh. What brought Chris to the Islamic faith?
Why do you think Paul Dillett didn't win more shows, Chris?
Because his lack of ability to hit a back shot just pissed judges off.
You think that's what it was?
Well, not piss judges off. It's just like, it'd be like, okay, one, it's a weak body part for him, weaker, but okay, hit a back double and everyone's already into it. He's just starting to get into it, and they're asking for a back lat spread, and he's starting to pull down the back double. Yeah, I think it affected a lot.
Lee, why could you lived with Paul? Why couldn't he pose? What was the problem?
Dave, let me tell you, because I used to talk to Paul about this. So others would sit there watching Housewives of York, would sit there and talk about his back posing and why he could. I don't know, Dave. I really have no idea why he couldn't do it. Really.
Well, wouldn't you guys pose together?
Feel their back. I think. No, Dave. No. We'd go in the posing room, but I think it's just like. It's like anything, when people can see their chest, they can see it, so they squeeze it. When you see your arms, you can squeeze it. You have that connection more. Even when you're training, if you can see the muscle, you sort of have that connection more. Whereas if you can't see it, some people, I don't think they can just feel it, when they're squeezed. And they're like, well, I can't really see it. Whereas, but the posing room of gold, you'd have that mirror up on the ceiling so you could see behind you and stuff. But I just don't I don't know why. It just seemed like he wouldn't spread it out. But there's a lot of guys. There's a couple of guys I've seen that do a real lat spread and just don't seem to pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus, I mean, he was competing in look who he's up against. Dorian, Wheeler, Ronnie. I mean, Lavrone was. I mean, to win a show in that era, was, I think, harder really.
And you can blame one Arnold Classic on me when I turned him into a statue, so he didn't win that one.
He looked good there. He almost died. That's the only problem.
Yeah. Was that the 40 milligram Lasix shot? The magic Lasix.
It was only 20. It was
20.
That was probably the.
No,
That was.
well, it was all.
That was probably the first. That was the first time he was just getting. He was just getting into that pose too. He got his arms back for the lat spread. Everyone said, "Yeah, he's gonna do it." Then they're like, "Fuck, he's holding that pose for a long time," and he's like, "I'm stuck," and nothing moved. They had to carry him off like some guy had to grab his shoulders and grab his feet and carried him off an ironing board. They just went like that.
Paul was flipping houses, I heard, or something.
That's
like
the
that.
day John almost killed Paul.
Yeah. My doctor friend, Dr. Mike Kaufman, was backstage when that happened. I remember he told me the story, and he said to Paul, "What'd you do? What'd you take?" Because he wanted to help him out. He's like, I took this and 14 Lasix and this and injectable and that. He's like, "Who told you to do that?" He goes, "I don't know, some guys from the gym." He said, "You're on the Arnold Classic stage. What do you mean, some guys from the gym?"
That's really not what happened.
But it wasn't just.
But the thing was,
I don't think, John, you were the only guy he was listening to.
No. What happened was he was taking oral. I guess.
What year was that, John?
92 or 93. 92. I don't remember. 92 or 93. And what happened was he had already taken whatever diazide and aldactone or aldactazide or whatever orals that he was taking, and he was still holding a little water. So I said 20 milligrams of Lasix IV. I'll take that right out. I mean, that was the newest Duchenne thing,
Right. It worked though.
Worked great, and then no rebound, which was really good. And I thought it worked. And it worked great, except that he had already. By the time the thing was kicking out the water, he had other people were kicking in, and it was just a disaster.
But he was dry. I remember him posing a week and a half before that. It must have been 93 because it was the first Arnold I did, or whatever. So it was because he posed down in that magic light, the door at Gold's Gym. Everyone posed. He was posing there. This was probably a week, 2 weeks before. And his skin was so dry and paper thin then, it's almost like he had nothing to pull out. So I guess whatever he had left in him, it's certainly come out.
Yeah.
Delts, man.
Yeah, he was incredible. God, he was amazing. Unbelievable.
Hello, Kitty.
Yeah, he had a little bit of water in his lower, low back and hamstrings and glutes, and I thought that would help. But
another question: Sonny Schmidt versus Ruley Winkler.
Rolly.
Really. Sonny has nicer shape in that, but really for the mass in it.
Yeah, Rolly out masses in it.
Yeah, people telling me my connection.
Why is this a dead bodybuilder against a live bodybuilder comparison? All of a sudden,
I don't know.
All of them.
Well, do you know? I like when they always say on the radio, if Elvis was alive today, he would be 90. Well, he ain't. He's fucking dead. He ain't alive today. It's like, how long are we going to keep this going for? When we're gone in 100 years' time, is the next radio announcer going to go, if Elvis was alive today, he'd be 221. Well, he's not alive today. It's like, how long do they carry this on for?
That's how you know if you won.
Bill Heath, will we see him on stage again?
Hello.
Yeah, I think you'll see him at Athleticon, Dave.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's a guess. I'm
He'll
not
probably
hearing
come on
that. I just
stage.
guessed it. How's that, Dave?
Someone told me that Heath
He'll
had
come
to
on
do
stage.
the Olympia because of his contract with The Rock. I don't know if that's true. What do you
Who
think about
told you
that?
Who told you that?
Hello to everybody.
What are my inside
Say
connections?
hello.
Hey, Kitty.
Say hello.
Victor
to
Richards
Dave.
versus
Hi,
Akeem
Dave.
Williams.
Hi, John.
The kitty is flat.
Who do you have?
It's flat. He hasn't eaten yet.
He's
Who do you got? Victor Richards, Akeem Williams.
Richard.
Victor Richards is bigger.
But he never got in shape either, so you really can't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
What about? Oh, that's not the nice cat. Looks like Garfield. No, that wasn't the one I was looking for. Sandy Riddell versus what was the one I saw in here? Tanya Knight.
Tanya.
Chris?
I got
was
one.
your
I got one.
Hold on, Lee. Wait.
Tanya. They both have lots of weaknesses, but Tanya.
Okay. Lee?
I got a
wanna chime in?
comparison. Joe Biden or Weekend at Bernie's.
Here's a better one. Big Lenny versus Big Rammy. I say Lenny has him on the gut, that's for sure. Yeah. Ruley Winkler versus Lee Priest.
Yeah. There's a picture of me and Ruley from a couple of years ago. Did you see it at Tony Doherty's gym doing the arm
No.
thing?
You both had some of the best arms, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's sort of good.
Who wins that one?
Lee Priest
Lee versus
versus
Ruley?
Mike wants to know Lee Priest versus William Bonac. I'd say Bonac.
Yeah, I'd say Bonac.
I don't know. Because sometimes when I see these guys, and I think they look good, then when I go to the expo in America and I stand beside them and I take a photo, I look at the picture and go, you know what, Lee? You still fucking got it.
Tom Platz versus Brandon Curry. Brandon Curry.
Yeah, all day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Now they're just throwing names out there.
Here's a good one. Fuad versus
Lee Priest versus Vince Comerford. I think
was
I
a good
competed
one, yeah.
against Vince once, didn't I? At one of the Ironmans.
Chad
Vince was a
Nichols
good
and Coach Lou
bodybuilder, Vince
Ferrigno. Would he have
Comerford.
beat Arnold?
No.
No.
No. Steve Blackman in a wig versus Big Lenny. Blackman. I go. Blackman.
Oh.
Sorry, Big Lenny.
They would eat each other.
Yeah.
Shred. I come in shredded. Feel my traps.
What's that noise?
Don't know. I can hear it too.
Yeah.
That's my
someone-
phone.
It's my heart. It's my heart monitor. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
there you
It's
go.
my heart monitor. Sorry about that. Let me just turn my pacemaker down.
Bumstead win an open show. Chris Aceto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, because we already went through the Reagan Bumstead comparison, and
Yeah.
Reagan won the show.
Yep.
Nothing against Reagan, just Chris
Yeah.
Bumstead's.
It's
You
good.
know,
It's good.
I mean, they're both very good.
Lee Priest
Why-
versus Franco. What Franco
Why-
today or?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that one. Hold on. Why did you guys leave LA?
Do you know what?
Go around the horn. Lee Priest, why'd you leave LA?
Because Joe Gold had passed away and World Gym just wasn't the same anymore, and they were going to sell it. So Joe Gold gave me his dog, so I left LA and headed out to Texas.
There you go. John?
Because I moved to Orlando for American Gladiators.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Chris Aceto?
I had a real estate opportunity.
In where?
Name.
Oh, okay.
Lee versus Francis Benfardo. Lee, because I beat Francis Benfardo at the 05-06 Australian Pro Show.
Marcus Rule versus Big Rammy.
Oh wow, that's a
From the front,
Marcus
Rule
2000
could take-
looked good, didn't he?
yeah,
did.
Marcus.
It would be a good lineup.
Marcus front lat spread. And Ramy's got the craziest front lat spread. Marcus front lat spread was pretty off the hook. His front
Side
double was
chest,
off
too.
the hook too.
That was
Side chest too.
Marcus was amazing.
He had weird glutes. He could never get like those really so he didn't have like big glutes. They were like
Yeah,
these like
no
small
neck.
little glutes.
He had no neck, Marcus. His head was pasted on his shoulders.
Right. Here's a good one.
Not Lee
Jimmy the
versus
Bull versus
not
Kamala
Lee
Harris.
versus Franco. Oh,
I'd have to give it to Kamala.
Yeah, I would too. Sorry, Jimmy.
Sorry, Jimmy.
Got better genetics than you do. Eduardo Kawak versus Franco Colombo. Oh, hold on, it's wrong one.
Victor Richard.
Eduardo
Kawak versus Colombo.
Kawak at his best for sure.
Really? Okay. Wow. Yeah.
do you ever think sometimes these people that have passed away? Do you ever wonder what they'd be doing if they were alive today?
All the time.
I can actually tell you if you want to know. I'll tell you, like Elvis, Franco, any of them, if they were alive today, do you know what they'd be doing?
What?
If they're alive right now, scratching at the box. Let me out. Let me out.
That's not nice. That's not nice. Lee, you're a very mean guy. Oh my god.
Well, I said if they were alive right now.
Right.
I got the joke. Joseph Stalin versus Adolf Hitler. Who wins the pose down?
In a pose down?
Stalin killed way more, didn't he? Wasn't Stalin up near like 30 million? Didn't he kill like 30 million people, Stalin?
I don't know.
He's got it all over, Hitler. He's like...
Would Blackman sign him to a contract?
There was a time
he would. Yes.
Oh my god. These guys. This is the delirium that you go through.
Who's the other guy? The other one. There's another guy that was worse than Stalin. Was he from like over? Not Potts, Cole Potts. No, not Paul Potts. He won America's Got Talent. Not him. No, it was someone else. There was another guy.
Shupin
like
versus Lee Priest.
Idi Amin, but
Idi Amin was pretty good. Hadi versus Lee.
Chris, let's see. Chris is unbiased. Go ahead, Chris. Who do you think?
Hadi. Hadi's the most dangerous guy in Olympia. I've already said it.
Yeah, I interviewed Hani Rambod. What'd you say, Lee?
Lee's got real shoulders. Lee's got real muscle in his shoulders.
Yeah, those are
just saying.
No, Jim. No,
here comes the death threats to Lee now.
Mao Zedong killed more than Stalin, according to one of our comments.
Pol Pot killed 60 million. I knew Pol Pot killed a lot.
60 million?
You'd have to be going. Yeah, he was like
Tony Freeman, Cedric McMillan. Lee. I mean, it's Chris.
Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric.
Close. I think it's close though.
It's close. Well, yeah, conditions. It would be tough condition. It is close.
They both have conditioning problems a little bit, getting perfection. But, I think that Cedric had some, probably from behind was better, right?
I think it would be very close.
What about Cedric at his best versus, what's the name at his best, who won the Olympia? We just talked about him last time with the going to court.
Sean
I've had a Joe Biden moment. Yeah, Roden. Where am I? Who are you people? What am I signing? What am I signing here? Just sign it anyway. You see that video on YouTube of Biden signing all those executive orders, and he says, "What am I signing here?" And Kamala says, "Sign it anyway." Did you see that one where they turn up the volume? You can hear what he's saying. No. Yeah, he says, "What am I? I don't know what I'm signing." She's like, "Sign it anyway," and he signs it and just puts it over there.
King Kamali versus George Farah.
That's it.
In the kitchen or on the bodybuilding show?
Bodybuilding.
I mean, under the kitchen skylight or under on the
bodybuilding stage.
On the stage. All right.
Who do you think, Chris?
On that, they're just putting people out of nowhere.
I don't know. It's a close call because Kamali had a couple shows he looked really good at. George had a couple shows he looked really good at early on.
I'll let you off the hook on that one. That was a tough one.
Julia
Dennis Wolf
Childs
versus
versus
Charles
Greg
Bronson.
Valentine. Now he's a,
So where did this come from?
It's just going to denigrate very quickly if we keep.
Craig Titus versus Lee Priest. Lee Priest.
Yeah, come on, that's
That's
not
not even close.
I think I beat Craig. I beat Craig. Yeah.
Dexter Jackson 08 versus Sean Roden 18.
Someone's asking me, do I condemn white supremacy? Yes, I do. I condemn any type of racism and hate. I judge people on character and how they treat other people. So that's it.
Amen. Amen. Chris, Dexter 08,
And
Sean Roden 18.
A woman.
Roden 18.
Okay.
I agree.
Thank you. Dave's been very sexist lately, just saying amen and all this sort of stuff. And when he was talking about, before he was talking about gymnasts going to girl gymnasts, there are men gymnasts too, Dave. You're very sort of,
No,
get
my
with
wife, my wife's a female gymnast. She said there's no male gymnastics.
it. You're not.
So they don't
You're
count.
not-
No one cares
you're
about them.
You're not.
Oh, here's
woke.
a good one. Here's a
You're
good
not
one.
woke,
Tom
Dave.
Prince versus Paul DeMeo. This is a
DeMeo.
tough one.
Mayo.
Really?
Mm.
Tom Prince had one shot. That was it.
No, he had a lot of good shots. He had some good shots.
Someone said Ronnie Coleman versus Lee Priest. Well, 97, I beat him 7 times. I went.
Yeah, there you go. Before he hit his.
Before 98, I beat him all the time. Lee Priest wins.
Chris is hit a Sean Roden. That wasn't the one I wanted. These things, the comments are coming up too fast now. I can't keep up with them.
Versus Romano.
Yeah. Yeah. Dexter versus Sean. Right, I guess. I mean,
Sean Ray. Probably
Chris,
Sean.
what do you
Even though I
think?
don't want to say it, probably Sean Ray.
It's a you know what, I hate Sean Ray,
Mm.
but he's a great bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot, but he's a great bodybuilder. Sean Ray, 1994, was really impressive.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But
96 too.
yeah, 96, and there's others too. Dexter, when he won the Arnold, when Phil Heath was supposed to win the Arnold, was really badass.
mhm.
The year that Phil was supposed to win it, like Phil's first Arnold, and Dexter came in, he was full. If you can call up a picture from that, I think that was Dexter's all-time best, and that might have been what, 07?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was off the hook. So
Yeah, I agree with
Off
you.
it's a
off
toss
the
up.
hook. Look at you, Chris. Look at Chris
Yeah.
getting down with the lingo. Off the hook.
Bingo talk. It's 1 a.m. talk,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, John, this
you're
is for
woke,
you.
man. You're woke.
Lyle Aceto versus Greg Valentino.
Ted Dixon. Ted Dixon versus Lyle Aceto.
We're just talking about amount of tests taken, or is this a body?
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, Alabama.
Here's a good one. Natural Ronnie Coleman versus natural Mike O'Hearn.
Coleman.
Coleman. How about natural Kai Green?
Yeah.
Remember when he was natural?
What happened to that other
14th
guy?
at the New York Pro.
Who was that other guy that was natural for a long time? What was his name?
Mike Ashley.
No.
Yeah,
After that.
No.
Wasn't that long ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. Had great arms, good body. I'd say black guy, but that doesn't narrow it down in bodybuilding, does it?
Jean Paul Guillaume.
No. After
What about
that,
was
this was more
Terry
like,
Pastel natural or no?
No, but almost. It's so funny you say that, Dave.
He was because I
can
thought he
picture
was
him.
natural. So
He had
I
like
heard
a- He had like a Michael Lockett. Was it Lockett that was meant to be natural?
yeah.
Yeah,
For a while
he
it
was
was.
pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
he looked pretty good. Do you know who actually looked good? And I could never understand why he didn't turn pro, and he had the physique similar to Vince Taylor. Was Edgar Fletcher? I could never understand why he didn't get a pro card.
He couldn't get in shape. That's why he would cheat. Jim Mannion told me a story that Jim had that gym. It was like a second story gym, and if you looked out the window, you can see like the street corner below. He would see, and Edgar was from Pittsburgh. He would see Edgar, like 2 weeks out from the show, he'd be eating like a fiend, eating like candy on the street or junk food and stuff like that. He couldn't control himself, I guess.
Some guys
They would
just
cheat.
really lose control, and then they go crazy. It's the most incredible thing.
I used to go crazy.
Goes out the window and they just freaking binge out. It's nuts.
I used to have a cheat day every week. I'd always say I was having a cheat meal, but once I had a cheat meal, I'm like, you know what, Lee, you've blown your diet. You may as well keep going. So I do the whole day.
Haney versus
and
Cutler.
then some days I'd wake up and look good. I go, you know what, Lee, you can do it again. The third day, I had to try rein it back in, but for 2 days I sometimes got away with it. I'd go down to Jerry's Deli, and that was the end of it. I'd start going through that big menu. I
love Jerry's Deli. That was one of my favorite places.
Yeah, mine too.
Well,
you ever have the chicken soup there? That big bowl of chicken soup with all the vegetables and crap in it, and matzo balls.
Jerry's Deli has cake, cheese sticks, all this fried food, and you go there for the chicken soup.
It's a Jewish deli. You got to have the chicken soup there, Lee.
Matzo balls.
Matzo balls and chicken soup. That's why you go there. That's why you go there.
You go there for all the. You go there for
no, you don't. It's Jerry's Deli. It's a Jewish delicatessen. You got to have the Jewish food.
That's like me going. That's like me
going to a bagel store and ordering a hamburger, Lee. You don't do that.
All right, let me go to
a Jewish deli and you have a hamburger. It's not even kosher.
Just because it's a Jewish deli, they sell everything. Look how big the menu was. You had to fold it and fold it and fold it, and you have like 500 choices. And Dave goes, "I'll have the chicken soup."
That was my appetizer. I didn't get to my main course.
Go to the Olive Garden, you wanker.
You want a good bowl of matzo ball soup?
Let me guess.
When you went deli at like 3 a.m, I'm telling you, it's the best. It's the best rehydrator after drinking.
Or Cantor's Deli if you were in LA.
Yeah.
And when you went to the Olive Garden, Dave, did you eat the bread or?
I don't eat an Olive Garden. My father said I'm not allowed to ever go there. My father would like completely ban any like fake Italian places that sell Italian food.
I wasn't allowed to go there.
John would know when you go to Jerry's Deli at Marina Del Rey, you just go around the corner from Jerry's to right near Kinko's, and you had Marie Callender's. Oh, what a beautiful place that was, Marie Callender's. So many pies.
Yeah, Marie Callender's pie. Remember, there was a place in West LA called the Apple Pan. It was right off Pico Boulevard, and they had the best pie there, man. It was incredible.
Oh.
Tuna sandwiches.
Did you go to Pink's
too?
Did you go to Pink's hot dogs? Pink's
every now and then. I like Tail of the Pup better.
I liked in Venice. My favorite place to go to when I would visit there was at 2 in the morning.
Here we go.
Van Gogh's Ear.
Here we go.
Yeah, Van Gogh's Ear. That was there for a minute.
Amazing food there. It was the weirdest place.
Yeah, because it was all healthy. Because it was all healthy, and I could go in there and get chicken breast and chicken soup. I love going in there. Let me guess, your second favorite place was Kookaroo.
I didn't like Kookaroo. I hated Kookaroo. I didn't understand why all the bodybuilders left the firehouse to go to Kookaroo, but everyone was always.
It was cheaper.
Yeah, it was cheaper.
Oh, was that why, Chris? Oh, I didn't know that. I guess if you eat there every day, if you eat there every day,
Chris will remember this. Do you remember the Swedish place, the buffet in Playa del Rey? Lincoln Boulevard. Everybody used to go to this. Lee would go. You would know that place. I would think. All
the bodybuilders were there. Didn't they always get kicked out of there?
No, they loved it there. They would come on in, eat. They loved it. They loved us there. That was like there were definitely places that didn't like us, but
remember. What about when you go to Marina Del Rey? You'd always who went to Aunt Kizzy's kitchen at Marina Del Rey.
Yeah. Didn't Chris Cormier invest in that? He was part of that.
I'm not sure, but my masseuse, the guy who owned that or his family owned that, he used to own one called Doolan's, and Doolan's was right down in the bad area, like down near Crenshaw, down that way. And my masseuse one day says, "Lee, meet me at Doolan's for Sunday brunch." Well, let me tell you, here comes Lee walking into Doolan's. And it's like a scene from one of those movies where Bruce Willis is wearing that sign around his neck down there in Harlem. I go walking in. Everyone's eating. I come walking in, and it's only white guy in there.
Did you have white hair when you went in there too?
Yeah, but once they heard I was Australian, it was okay. But if I was American, it could have been a different story.
Yeah.
Once I heard I was from Australia, I was good. But
And
yes,
Kizzy's
I was
food
out
was
there
good.
probably thinking, yeah. Well, Dillon's,
What
I
was your
think, was the
favorite
guy
place, Chris, to eat
that
back
owned-
then?
Back then, without
Yeah.
a doubt, Cheesecake Factory. When there was people didn't know what the Cheesecake
yeah.
Factory
That was the
was.
only place,
Yeah,
right?
That was
You,
the only-
you can go to any big city now and there's a Cheesecake Factory, but I think there was only maybe 2 back
Right.
then, and one was in Marina Del Rey, and the wait was like crazy. And
Oh, nuts!
yeah,
Mhm.
What was the name of the Mexican place right at the end of Washington Boulevard, right by the ocean?
Oh, that was good. I like that place.
It was
Taco
half-
Bell.
No,
it was inside, outside. Remember, it was there forever.
Ed is the one who told me about that place. to go eat.
Chipotle.
Really good.
No. It was like a Venice place. It was like its own name.
It was right by the beach too. It was like a block away.
Was it on the second story? Was
No,
it,
it was a whole standalone building. It was right on the canal. There was
right outside? Yeah.
What year did you leave, Lee?
What year did I leave Venice?
Yeah,
What year did Joe die? Was that 05, 04, 05, 06?
yeah.
Somewhere around then.
What
But
was
whoever, if you lived in Venice, I'm sure. What's that?
I want. Go ahead, tell the story, but I want to know.
I wanted to ask if we all lived in Venice. I'm sure we all went down to Sparky's frozen yogurt, little Sparky. Remember him, the Chinese guy in there? The frozen, just near Shartsies. You'd say, "Oh, hello,
Yes,
Lee,
Sparky's
hello, Lee."
yogurt,
That's my Chinese. I'm not being racist. That's my impersonation. "Oh, Lee, good to see you, Lee. What you like? What you like?" I'll say, "I'll have the vanilla." "Oh, vanilla. You like vanilla. You like vanilla." "Yeah, that's why I asked for it. I want vanilla." "Oh, yeah, and I just want vanilla." "Oh, no. You and something else." "Okay, give me vanilla and chocolate." "Oh, vanilla and chocolate. Yeah, you like. And I don't want anything else." No, you have something else." I come for a small and I leave with a large. It's like when you go to a Chinese restaurant, they do the same thing. I say, "Can I have the lemon chicken?" "Oh, lemon chicken, very good. You like. And give me some.
They're upselling you, Lee. That's all. It's an upsell.
Oh, I know. I always go for one meal and then end up leaving with like a buffet of shit.
Well, they
It's like they
upsold
can
you.
good on the
it worked.
upsell, but I always like how they tell you like it when you ask them, "Can I have the lemon chicken?" "Oh, lemon chicken, you like. Yeah, I do like it. That's why I'm ordering it." "Oh, very good.
Holy shoot.
What was your rent back then, Lee?
There used to be a good.
Lee, what'd you pay
wasn't
rent?
that much actually, because I'm thinking when I first moved to Venice, I was living on Venice Boulevard. I was only paying about $900 a month
That was
for
probably
a big
expensive, wasn't it,
2-bedroom,
back then?
2-bathroom.
I was living on the Marina Peninsula for $500 a month, right on the beach.
God, what year?
Lee, what year?
79, 80.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I moved to Venice in 93. I was in Venice from 93 to 2004ish, and then I moved up to Lancaster and had a house up there for a while in the high desert. But yeah, I
But
think
you
the
had,
most I
you had
paid in
Blackman
rent-
paying your rent. Wink, wink, wink. He was a kept
Hey.
man. Lee was
Hey.
a kept man.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think the 1,200 was probably the most. 1,200 was probably the most I ever paid. I think a month in rent.
yeah,
But
that was
then they got
rough.
rid of rent control, didn't they? They got rid of
Yeah.
rent control, then I think.
Yeah, Santa Monica had rent control.
What did you
for a
pay,
long time.
Chris, when you were there?
I paid in 89, 90, 91. I paid 600, and people like back home thought that was just insane.
Wow. Did you have a nice place for that?
I had a fairly nice place, but I moved. When I moved, my mortgage was. I moved to Maine and I bought something, and my mortgage was
270.
9 46, but I put a big chunk down, but it was like the Taj Mahal looked like.
Oh wow!
Like,
and you owned it, and you owned it
for another $350 a month.
Yeah, you can't turn that down.
You know, I went from living in an apartment to like living in the beach in something that's like Ed's place.
I bought my first house in Seaford where John lived. John, that rental house, and I was renting the bottom, and I was living on the upstairs. I was living for free with the rental. I had there.
Too much. Paying too much for free. Did you have to pay for your own food?
Yeah, I had to pay my own food. Yeah, but you know, that was why I bought the second house, because I had no mortgage. It was like a wash. So I said I might as well get another house, right? And so I upgraded. I bought another house around the corner, and then I rented that one out. And I pulled this Chris Aceto, on a very small scale, of course.
I lived in 4 different apartments on Venice Boulevard. I lived in one nice one here, and then some new ones across the street opened up. So I moved exactly across the street. And I don't want to tell my poor training partner almost got him killed the day I was moving, because I thought it would be funny at the time. You remember Kurt Miller? He won the Californian, that really nice physique, similar to Flex's.
Yeah, I
He's
remember.
like my brother. He come to live with me in Australia, and we hung out all the time. But I thought it would be funny that when we were moving across the road, because you had the 2 lanes of traffic on Venice Boulevard, then the traffic island in the middle where you wait for the traffic on the other side.
I remember that.
And we're just taking stuff across the road. And when you're standing in the middle of the thing with my TV, I yelled out, "Stop that guy! He stole my TV!" And the guy almost got out the car and killed him. He's standing there holding my TV, looking up at me on the balcony, going, "You fucking asshole!" I said, "It's okay. He's a friend. He's just helping me move. Let him go."
Well, great stories from the old days. I love it. And guys, thanks for joining us tonight. This was a great live broadcast. That we've already done an hour and a half. I can't believe it went so fast. I know we all got to get to bed, except for Lee, who's still got the whole day ahead.
No, it's 5:30 Monday.
Oh, you got dinner. You got your dinner time. I'm sorry. I ruined your dinner. I'm sorry.
Yes, my wife's just
you ruined my sleep. That's
my
all.
food right now, so I can. My wife's just mashing up my food so I can chew it better as we speak.
Yeah, there you go. Last question: Lee versus Joe Rogan. Who wins the pose down?
Lee.
I give it to Lee. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah. But Joe Rogan might get me in an armbar.
Yeah, he would certainly get you in the finances department. That's for sure. He's making a crap load of money.
Did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you about the time? Next time we're on, I'll tell you about the time Steve Blackman got me in some submission holds.
Oh, how about what's his name? Richard. What's his name? Richard Simmons versus Steve Blackman.
Oh, him. Oh, I used to love Richard.
I think Blecky takes him.
I think Blecky takes him.
I don't know. That Richard Simmons, when he's always on TV. I don't know. Last time I saw him, he's on TV crying. He's like, ooh, ooh. Nice girl. His voice is almost the same as Blackman. They
get the same voice.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's like whining like that. And then he's sweating to the oldies. Let's go, girls.
Chris, I'll give a final question to Chris. Chris, who would you rather train, Richard Simmons or Steve Blackman?
Blackman, because he's got all the supplement knowledge.
Hardcore. I'm Chris. I'm hardcore when I go to the gym.
Yeah. Feel my glutes, Chris. Feel my glutes. Put your finger in there. Feel them.
Muscle damage. Muscle damage. Right. Muscle damage.
Oh my God.
Tell the muscle damage story one more time.
That was the funniest thing.
Before we hang up, tell the muscle damage story.
He read some article somewhere about muscle damage, and so we were on the preacher curl machine, and he's got the weight up here, and he's letting it go slam down like this, and he would catch it at the last 2 inches of the movement, and you just see that the tendon in the bicep like this. So he's like slam like this. He goes like muscle. I go, what are you doing? He goes, muscle damage. Then the next day, he couldn't move his tongue because his fucking arm hurt so bad. He had both arms. He was like this. He couldn't move.
What did he read? A study? Read a study on it, right?
He had this muscle damage. And he's like 5 times as he's slamming this. It looked like it hurt so bad. And
and the funny thing is, he probably trained really well before that too. And then he read that one study, and it changed his whole training regimen.
oh my God, it was but he would do that. He would read an article, and then he'd have the training. That was another,
occlusion training.
It's almost,
Occlusion training.
now he's still training today. He's still doing the same thing. He's like this: brain damage, brain damage, brain damage. Poor Steve.
Poor Steve. He's got us.
Well, I'm going to brush my wig.
Stop making fun of me.
There he is.
Lee, I'll give you a contract. Do the rear glute spread for me, please. The arms don't do it for me anymore.
You've got
Rear
photos,
glute
Steve.
spread,
Go look at the old
please.
photos. Go look at the photos.
Look, all 4 of us here, all 5 of us here have taken money from him.
Why cut back, Chris?
Dave, I gave you the greatest text of all. You should print that. Did you ever print it out, Dave, and put it on your office wall?
Why cut back text?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're buddies again. I'll come on Dave's show. I'll do the interview.
You know, say hello.
Ron Harris doesn't ask the right questions. Sorry.
That's actually giving me flashbacks, Dave, of the time I used to have to put my hand up his bum too, really. I got a big check, remember?
Listen, we got to wrap it up. Remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
The truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.
Steve, you
Take it easy.
Steve used to
Muscle
tell me
damage.
to wrap it up
Muscle
too.
damage. Muscle damage. Muscle
Muscle
damage.
damage.
Muscle damage. Muscle damage. Muscle damage.
He's got Tourette's.
Muscle damage.